Good day everybody, it's Grayzy, Chief Instructor for Northern Limits Bushcraft and Survival. Hope everyone's well today, because I am. And today what we're going to be covering is top tips for the Ferro Rod. Stick around, let's see what I've got for you. So in the Ferro Rod, absolutely fantastic bit of kit. It is a spark delivery device, you could call it, I suppose. Yeah. Burns to about 3000 degrees Celsius, and it will catch tinder up so well. So what we need to do is just think about how we're going to use it, what we're going to use it for, and if it's appropriate. So the top tip is number one is preparation. But what I mean by that is when it's brand new, it will come in a black paint around it. So what we need to do is get rid of that black paint, because it won't work. The ferrocerium rod works on friction and oxidization. The more friction you have, the more of the material will come off, and then the oxidization, because the heat from the friction will then ignite it. So prepare it. If you've used it before, it will oxidize and you'll get a layer over it that's quite gritty. We need to get rid of that. So all we do is just get a scrape by a knife or whatever else you're using, and then just literally just scrape it. Next part is in preparation, the fact that you need to get the tinder sauce good to go. You can't start striking something that's very small. That'll burn quickly if you've not got enough of it. Fire is 90% preparation. Okay, all you need is the spark to get it going, but you need the materials to make it establish. So get your tinder sauce ready. Prep the ferro rod by scraping the oxidized material that's off it, or the paint if it's brand new. Tip number two, find out what works for you. Most ferro rods will normally come with a scraper. This is the one that came with this ferro rod from Tom from Woodland School Limited. He was kind enough to give us this one. What it involves is just a small scraper, but it'll normally have a 90-degree spine on it. Some of the scrapers are absolutely garbage, so what you need to do is try and find one that works for you with the correct methods. There's other things that you can use as well. Okay? You can use your knife. Okay? For example, this one is my Camillus. It comes with a 90-degree spine, okay? Very sharp, which allows us to get that 45-degree angle to be able to get that scrape. This isn't my go-to though. My go-to normally, I will use the spine on my folding saw as well, because that is very good. Let's have a look. So tip number three then is pressure, pressure, pressure. I know that's the same word 3 times, however, it's still the same tip. Now what I mean by the pressure is the fact that it works on friction and oxidization. So the harder you scrape it and put more pressure on it, the more material will come off, and then you'll have more of that spark to be able to then ignite that tinder sauce. You can see where I've used this, and all that black stuff there is where it's oxidized, and it's all this, and that'll cover then the whole of the ferro rod. So how to get rid of that then is, what we do is we can just scrape some of it off. And you can see where that's just a little bit more shiny, where I've actually scraped it off just here. That's what we're looking for. What to try and do is just get as much pressure as we can. That spine I mentioned, 45 degrees. You can see where I've actually been using it to scrape just there. Okay, put the pressure on that you need. And you can see all them sparks that's just generating. If I don't put enough pressure on it, it's not going to go. All I'm doing is scrape material off. Put the pressure on it, push down and go. Now what that was that's still igniting there. Okay, what that was the amount of pressure I've put on it. It's scraping all of the material off. And now the knife. Yeah, more pressure, more sparks. So next then, I mentioned what you need to find out what works for you. There's a few ones that you can actually use, different methods where you've got the push method, so you get your 45 degrees. So if that's upright, 45 degrees and push. Now you can see I'm throwing the sparks there, I'm pushing them. Yeah, the other one, next one is the pull method. Put the pressure on, push down, and pull up, and then pull. And what that then does, it allows it to centralise more, and you can actually aim the sparks a little bit better. Put over your tinder sauce, and then pull. We've then got the pump method, which I've already shown, where you put the pressure on, and then you shower in it. It's known as the pump method or the shower. Another method I'm quite prone to using as well is the foot support. So I've got my knife. I'm going to grip my knife, and I'm going to put me slightly skew if. Yeah, so it's going to be 45 degrees facing upwards, and then I'm going to put my knuckles on my boot, and then that gives us a platform. I can push down on me boot, so my hands don't go anywhere. I can then apply the pressure upwards on my ferro rod, and then pull back. Now what this allows me to do is, if I've got a tinder sauce that's quite prone to blowing away or quite delicate, okay, I'm not actually going to hit if I'm going forward. I'm going to pull back, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to see roughly where about it aims at, and then I can make any adjustments from there. So test run, find out where it went, and I can make some small adjustments then. There you go. And what's good about cotton wool, because it's so fibrous as well, this will actually take a spark when you throw it. So I'm going to throw it off screen to then attempt getting that one there. There we go. And that was just simply throwing the sparks. So fine. Something that we do have as well, you've seen me and James use it on numerous occasions. So I mentioned before, that's what it looks like when it's brand new. It's nice and black. And then see how it's all, I've used it before and it's all dull, that's where it's oxidised. James done a review on the Northern Limits ignition necklace. Now just to prove the point, to prepare it, it's not working. There we go. And then you can actually see where I've actually scraped it. So prepare it. So I need to prepare this, the ignition necklace. And a ferro rod that's this small can get a decent amount of sparks. So something that's that small, with enough pressure, will be able to fling the sparks off to be able to ignite your material. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 3 tips on how to use the ferro rod effectively. Prepare the ferro rod, prepare your fuel. 2, find out what works for you. Find out whether it's a knife, a saw, a scraper, but find one that works. Stick to it, experiment, you can't go wrong then. And 3 is pressure. Always put a massive amount of pressure on it to be able to get that successful amount of material coming off that's igniting.